We're winding down on our quantitative methodology chapter video series, and we need to talk about something. In fact, we're going to discuss it. Never mind. Okay, discussion. First thing you should know is for a lot of the dissertations, a discussion is the final chapters, chapter 4. Methodology is normally chapter 3, but different programs have different formats for your dissertation. Make sure you get a template or something, the right one. Some have 4 chapters, some have 5 chapters. I'm just going to go over this discussion just to make sure you know what goes in your discussion chapter about your methodology. Right? Right. In your discussion, you're going to summarize what you did statistically from the methodology section. There's other things that are going to go in your discussion chapter, but I'm just focusing on the stats part, the methodology. Okay, here we go. So first thing is, what did you find? You're going to repeat it more than once. That's the important stuff. You're going to put in your discussion chapter what you found, what was significant, or what if it wasn't significant, right? So in other words, what did you find, what did you not find? And it's okay to repeat yourself. These are the important things. So say it more than once. So it's okay to repeat your findings. Next step is, were your results comparable to what you read in your literature? In other words, sometimes you're going to get results that are just the opposite of what the literature says. I've come across that several times. So you're going to talk about what you found, what was significant, what was not significant, and how did that relate to the literature that you read, right? Did it agree with it? Did it support it? Did it corroborate with it? Or was it just the opposite? Did it not agree, right? Was it opposite of what you found, contradict it, right? So talk about that. Then you're going to talk about how you can expand what you found to existing literature, right? And clinical implications, professional applications, et cetera, et cetera. In other words, what are you going to do with this information that you found? And following up, did your research add anything new to the body of information? That's what a dissertation is supposed to do. You're supposed to do some research, talk about, did your research add any new information to the body of knowledge? That's what a quantitative research does. Can anything you found be added to the body of knowledge of what you're studying, right? That's important. You're going to talk about what you liked about your study. In other words, what were your strengths of the study? Part 2 is, what were the limitations of your study? This one can be wide open. This is where you put your complaints, right? A limitation is complaints. Number 1 limitation that I've seen is it's always about sample size. Students always wish they had a larger sample size, and don't we all, right? The larger the sample size, the stronger the results, the higher the power, and everything else. But time is an issue, so you do with what you can. And any other limitations, like if you found some of the surveys were not easy to use, something was outdated, something was old, you put that right here in your limitations. And then you're going to transition into your final chapter if needed. Again, down here where we are, chapter 4 is the final chapter, and it's the discussion chapter, so you don't need to transition into it. Some of the programs have a 5th chapter, so you would use this to transition, to segue into the final chapter, okay? But again, it might not be needed. Down here, it's not needed at all. But I gotta throw this pitch in here. I would feel amiss in my responsibilities if I didn't put my 2 cents in here. You got to remember this. A long time ago, you made a decision to do a major research project and then write it up for publication. That's a lot, okay? That's a serious piece of work. It doesn't get any harder than that in the world of education and academics. So use the support services and materials that Alliant has. There are a lot of them. We have a ton of online stuff for statistics, but also think about the people. Alliant has the finest professors that you'll find anywhere. Top shelf. They all work in the field. They're brilliant. They know what you were having to learn. They already have been through what you've been through, so there's a lot of experience there. Use them. That's what they're there for. And between our online quantitative statistics resources and the people that work at Alliant, there's a lot to offer there. Use them. That's what they're there for. And I think we're coming to a halt here, and yep, that's it. All right, I hope this really helps.
Math Guy Zero, out.